This structure dominates the landscape but wasn't made for it. It's for passing through, for moving elsewhere. Time seems to pass differently around here. I feel so heavy and so light at the same time. I'm not really alone. I'm with myself. I'm with the earth. Someone was out here alone. They used the walls like I use my journal. One melody is like me out here alone. I can't really live like this. I have a feeling they use these music boxes to fall asleep. Two voices is like me and my mom. We can survive, but eventually you need more. They kept themselves company with music. Looks like they made it out of here. But what is this group? In the empty places, I found companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life. I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
Let's set the scene for the listener, whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die, this library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers, but I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there. It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you've gotten a firm hold on it. But as long as you're there to witness it, to take it down in your journal, you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all. I heard, somebody told me, you want to capture what it's like to be alive during this season? For the future? And you want to understand why and how the season is going to end. The season of my youth is long gone. But I can tell you what that season was like and what I know about how it ended. Francis Cale, if you must know. You can call me Frank. Or Elder. Or the Elder. Or Elder Frank. You know, whatever. I don't care. I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship. The short-lived but glorious watery republics, floating cities. Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were a jewel of the golden season. Pleasure boats with a radical political program. How nice. The golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom taught me to read them. She was the ship's philosopher. My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death. We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy. My grandparents played with the past. They changed it like we change our wardrobe. So it was a different answer every time. But they often said we were exiles of some kind. Exiled royalty from a secret lineage. Blood that glows in the dark. Or were exiled from the mouth of some great leviathan. When they were older, they just said, we're from here. We're from right now. I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. It was so comforting. Picture me as a kid in bed, feeling the swaying of the ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too, wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and oh, there were 2 dance halls. a large, elegant one, and another one in the basement. A lot of my firsts were down there. My first dance, my first kiss, and so forth. Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. Took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth. Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off the ship by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out, but they knew, I guess. Yes, the start of the war was a turning of seasons, and we had been warned the season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw beautiful lights shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system. It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the prismatic grounds. I thought it was all temporary. I couldn't see how things would return to normal, but I was sure they would. Aside from that delusion, I was okay. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The story gets darker from here on. Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds. What's so hard is the feeling of absolute loneliness. Normally, we're all at least roughly in the same flow of time. But with this disorder, you walk alone, truly. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases. I decided to go find him. I found out his name was Dr. Fumio, and he traveled with his son Lucio. People talked about him like he was a god. I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me. I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. That night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers. I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again. In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Karo village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring, hiking, climbing. And when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world, and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing. So why couldn't I? One day, we got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. Yes, it was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, as I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean, as if I was back in my bedroom on the ship, as if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home. and nothing could hurt me.
I imagine coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in. This valley is asking people for a visit. I should oblige it. This is a truly enormous, impassive structure. We never used this kind of technology in my village. Nobody trusted it. Wow, it's still working. It's still delivering power somewhere. The elder warned me about valleys. She said they were dangerous. I feel a dulcet tension in the air. I enter to see the moment between seasons. must be a car, but it looks weird. I haven't seen one like this in my books.
Oh, the valley. 1 second.
What will happen when we do as instructed and gather around this fake person?
Is that a strotopop? Yeah, what are they called? What is it? I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story, I guess. What are you doing here? The whole thing, huh? You're young. You got time. What kind of stuff are you recording? That's the way to do it, if you ask me. If anyone asked me, I mean. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
The elder said that people were exhausted by symbols after the war. But here are a few hanging.
Hey. This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys? I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's going to be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart. It's too old. There's nobody left who knows how to repair it. We're taking it down so we'll know when it'll collapse. It gives us time to evacuate everyone. Greyhounds. We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, minesweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new. It was supposed to be because we're helpful yet neutral. We took a vote and decided to change the name, though. We want something more friendly sounding. I'm excited to find out what it will be. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well, anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a new element or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So, I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Gonna try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea. Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley, too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to, and he gave me a map. The assembly point seemed like a good place to start. I wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley. I'm not the first to do this, just the first in a long time. It seems like I'll have to wait for night to enter the shrine. I'll think about what kind of visitor I want to be. This looks ancient. It must have been hard to carve a pattern like that into a rock. The elder didn't think I'd see any flags. This could be a sign that the season is changing. I am probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign. The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500. All above will remain, all below will wash away. I have wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves. I wonder what the flowers have to say. She must have been important to have such an elaborate solitary tomb.
God of sleep, I've been gathering heartache and I've been gathering courage. If my big prayer is wrong, if it goes against divine will, please spare the people of this valley. We're so desperate for peace.
A memory told over and over again. These metal animals are looking up, expectantly. This flower has a shimmering quality.
The people here are so weak.
I heard gunshots last night.
That was us. What is that?
Look at the pond, the water.
What is that pattern?
Should we run or something?
Something frightening happened in this memory. But what was it? A green space. I feel memory in the air like pollen. It reminds me of a poem my dad was never able to finish. The first line was, "If you want to awaken the dead, just whisper." It sounds like they want to adapt their organization to the people in it, and not the other way around. There's a number to call for questions regarding the dam. Nobody is here. Guess it's too late for me to register. There must be a lot of people going to the city if they need to keep track of them with cards. Imagine if the man I met is the only living greyhound, and the rest are cardboard. The greyhounds want to end this season. They say they're going to build the next season. How? The greyhounds are the future in all its uncertainty, the good and the bad, the hope and fear of progress. The loneliness of this season will be left behind. A collective project is coming. The artist has depicted the greyhounds as a child. They don't have faith in their capabilities, but see them as innocent. Is that your name on your collar? Let's see, you are Madrigal. The process of taking people out of the valley was also a kind of ritual, a way of bridging one life to another. They know the world they're leaving. The next one hasn't been created yet. This machine looks powerful. It must have done the work of many people. Filled with grain for the future. The farmer didn't know they wouldn't need it. Cows from all over the world came here to compete in cow stuff? The golden season seems like such a different world. Compared to my village, they lived in the open here. They lived on the land itself. I hope in the future, at least some people are still living like that. And you are Mata. These people had to leave so much behind.
We got a big show today.
Huge show.
Breaking news. The Greyhounds have died.
We're being reborn, baby.
And we're taking suggestions for our new name.
Live on the air suggestions from the rank and file.
You don't even need to be a Greyhound to suggest a name.
True, true.
The number to call is 0019. That is 0019. First caller, hit us with a name.
Hi, yeah. I was thinking the bricklayers.
Okay. Bricklayers.
Laying some bricks. Well, yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
We'll be taking them all afternoon, so keep them coming.
That number again is 0019. You're listening to Greyhound Radio. We are broadcasting live from Greyhound HQ.
And we're gonna take a little break.
If the Greyhounds are changing their name, you'd know them as something else. And your name is Toupette. I wonder who named you that. The sound of this bell has a lot of character. I like the tune well enough. I wonder why it appeals to our bovine brethren. You are a cow and you are named Krasnahorkai. I've never drank cow's milk, let alone some kind of frozen version.
I recognize you.
Yeah?
You're the famous doctor. That's your boy. The one with the visions. I'm right, aren't I? I won't tell nobody.
We're just passing through.
I have a niece. She hears things. Voices of the dead.
I can't help you.
Please, give it some thought.
I can't treat anyone here in this valley. This is not a place to get well.
Where is?
I'm working on that. Take care.
It's surreal to find a piece of Dr. Fumio's past so far away from Cairo.
I recognize you.
Yeah?
You're the famous doctor. That's your boy.
Such a huge structure. I wish we had more information about the olden days. My mom told me a story about a special gateway. Passing through it took years off your life, trading time for distance. I suppose I'm doing the same, just very slowly, very gradually. This structure doesn't have a use like the ones in my village. I think it's supposed to make you feel something, or to have a place to think. We have Dr. Fumio's cures to negotiate with the exigencies of life as a conscious being. Here they have a religion. The form changes, our needs remain the same. I smell hay, rust, and old warmth. symbol and a name, the din. These stones must represent the three gods of the valley. Their names seem important. Din, din, din. Like an echo from the past. There is a subtle but pronounced smell coming from beyond these gates. Root and incense. This stone is to worship the tide. The tide, something calm that comes and goes. A different symbol and name. The void sounds ominous. What is a symbol but a word without a sound? There's a field of purple across the river. This shrine is where it all began. I wonder if there are still monks in there. In Cairo, we have a statue to remember Dr. Fumio. But this statue is meant to be worshipped. Music from a trio of performers. The metal, the breeze, and my mind. Those slips are prayers to this god for sleep? That didn't seem to work. That didn't seem to work. Tide.
Oh. I prayed to see you again. I didn't expect it would be in a dream. Life listens and then it does what it wants. We have to make do, darling. I've been thinking about how much the season needs you. And how the season after that will need you desperately. I wish I could help. But this is a brief dream. What can we say? Oh, that's good. That's a relief. Maybe I won't remember this dream, but I'll try to hold on to the feeling of relief, to carry it into my waking hours. I don't know if you will, but I know I will see you again. For so long I'll think it'll never happen. I'll almost make peace with having lost you to the world. But then, oh, all the work of my grief undone in a moment. When I saw you again, oh, I wept and I laughed. Someday you'll have a child of your own. Someday he'll want to see the village where his mom was born. And I'll be here waiting for him. We'll stand together, just like this. I have 1,000,000 questions for him. And he'll have 1,000,000 questions for me. But before we can say a word, I'll look into his eyes. And I'll see you looking back at me. Take care, my darling. It's time to wake up now.
This god put me to sleep. I got to talk to my mom. Sleep is the shadow life that connects us all. It gives a cycle to our days, a reset, a reflection, remembering and forgetting at the same time. wonder if this god is supposed to be missing part of their face. The figure of this statue feels like it came to someone in a dream. That's just a guess from me. Those slips are prayers to this god for memories? That didn't seem to work. Then it was my first time being in a car as it was being cleaned. Moving through a tunnel, like being in the mouth of a whale. The prayer gave me a memory that isn't mine, but it feels like mine now. It seems like it came from the golden season. I've been given so many memories here. I hope I'm able to pass them on through this journal. The memory of war lingers, but the gray hands are guiding people somewhere else. This must be the dream sickness. They'll sleep forever. All my life I've heard solemn references to the war. It never reached our village, but it touched the lives of our grandparents. What happened here in the valley, and how did it end? Weird. This looks like it was drawn by a child.
Everyone's here. She's really going to do it. How can she be sure?
The shrine is protected.
How does she know?
Sonia knows.
How can she be sure? She can't know for sure. This has never happened before, has it? I don't want this. We need to leave. Let's just run.
Wait. Do you hear that?
Oh, God.
We're going to be okay. It'll all be over soon.
Who is Sonia? What did she do to protect the people of the valley? They believe a prayer put the soldiers to sleep. Is that possible?
Everyone's here. She's really going to do it.
Do their friends and family know what happened to them? The scale of the old world grew beyond human proportion, maybe beyond human feeling. The parking lot will never die. Music from a trio of performers. The metal, the breeze, and my mind. Is she still waiting? The elder showed me this symbol. The soldiers are from the prismatic grounds. I don't know what it's like to be that hungry. The people here weren't ready for a war. The war was its own season, but the trauma of it echoed on into this season, haunting it. I'm looking at a memorial to the lost, the killed, and the maimed. We are so lucky the war never came to Cairo village. All this will be washed away. This machine fueled countless tourists motoring into the valley. Supply lines must have been cut off when the war started. I've seen pictures of cars before. They were common in the golden season. This car seems to be named Honk Honk.
I've always prayed when I needed something. But now I just want to thank you. The calm you brought into the world. I'm in love with this silence. This moment. We're going to live. And we're going to remember.
I can hear the relief in their voice. This must be after the end of the season of war.
I've always prayed when I needed.
Stay where you can hear me, okay?
Thank God they have electricity down here.
Did you hear from your friend in the watery republic? Which one is it?
The Topaz. We could get a ride with them on the coast.
Great. And we're really just gonna leave the car behind.
It's a junker anyway.
Beautiful.
I told you 786 would be our year. I sang you that whole song about it.
They sound so free and happy, just roaming around the world. The faded optimism of a sweet treat makes me feel sad. The golden season must have been full of such little pleasures. The fabric negotiates with wind and gravity. The end result is flight. When I cobble together my own religion, this will be a god. God is always stopping to tie his shoe. He bends over and his eyes go completely white for like 60 minutes. But he doesn't tie a single lace. I wish my thumb was more green than it is. Rhubarb is one of my favorite words. Rhubarb. 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 I had an uncle who collected tools that were so old nobody knows what they were used for. The earth gave and gave. It did not let up. Not even at the last minute. We collect the fruit of the land we know is dying. Who could forgive us? I hope I get to taste some saba fruit. If it merits a sticker, must be pretty good.
Oh, no, no, no! You said we had until midnight. I'm not ready to leave. Look at all this. Wait a minute. A cute outfit, a bicycle. You're not a greyhound. What a relief. I'm sorry. I just assumed because who else would be... What are you doing here? You're really cutting it close. I guess I'm doing research here on the lawn. I'm studying my own life. Welcome to Tiang Valley. You should have been here a week ago when the evacuation started. Almost everyone is gone now. My son and I are still here. There's a few old people left too. You might come across them. Hopefully everyone will leave the valley tonight. We're going to live in the city, in a little apartment. Look! See how they put the dimensions on the back? I recreated our future apartment here, on the lawn. This is the space we have to work with, to live in. I'm trying to really imagine what it'll be like. We're going from a big farm to one room, and we need to be packed by tonight. I already packed for myself and my son, but my husband Yuri is a little harder to pack for because he passed away recently. And I can't bring all his things. It's not realistic. His stuff is still... It's all here. It's okay. You said you're here to study the valley? My Yuri was doing the same thing. We can do this. Just need to decide. Our old cart broke. I overloaded it. So I had to use the wheels of his bicycle. Now he's so mad he won't say a word. I've packed my essential clothes. I don't know what to do with these. This was Yuri's best suit. Maybe when Kochi grows up, it'll fit him. That's a long time away, though. My island dress. I made this for our trip to the islands, the trip we never took. It was based on a photo of a seaside Azan dance. The hours I spent on this. These are some of Yuri's clothes from when he was a kid. I thought Kochi could wear them, but he says they're itchy. So what's the use? But to throw them away, he was a little boy. He would put these clothes and go to school. He grew up. Oh, God, this hurts a little. Okay. Yes, of course we'll bring this. I should bring anything that helps Kochi remember his dad. Yuri learned to paint from our neighbor, Matiora. He painted all 3 of these. This is a self-portrait he did. Kind of intense, right? He was more handsome than that. I wish he could have seen himself the way I saw him, you know? He was really lovely, just occasional dark moods from his work. This is his portrait of me. We got into a fight over it. What's that supposed to mean? You just splatter some paint on the canvas and put my name on it? He said it was my essence. I don't know. Do you think it looks like me? He painted this for Kochi. Some kind of private joke between the 2 of them. I don't get it. They were both interested in the war and how it ended. I'm not. I just pray nothing like that will ever happen again. Which painting should I take with me? Yes, you're right. For better or worse, this is how he saw me, deep in his mind. Maybe someday I'll understand it. Maybe someday I will look at this painting and see him seeing me. All right, this is going well. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or someone. The demon of shame and mourning. How could I have forgotten? Now, where did I put him? We need to bring the demon of shame and mourning. When someone dies and you're in mourning, you're supposed to keep the demon in sight at all times. He's supposed to remind you of your regrets. It's a religious thing.
We build our lives out of what we leave behind as much as from what we carry with us. Fools grow legs and drown in the lake indeed. He seems to have been obsessed with figuring this out. This is the ancestor of the big windmills I saw on the ride here. Imagine this toy boat riding the waves of the flood. I feel the slow chaos of life in its branches. A tree dies on the same spot it was born. A mineral that can affect the mind. To what extent? The bird stole a small trinket. I left the bird its prize, but maybe I can learn more about the locket. This valley is so different than my village, but both places have an enormous tree watching over them. This tree will pass in the flood. What will be the end of the tree in Cairo? The tree looks healthy. The ritual must have worked. Whatever is making that sound, I'm glad they sealed this shut. I'm sure these critters will escape the valley before the flood. This is a season when memories echo on and on and on and on. Will the echoes fade away, or will they be cut off abruptly? The info sign earlier said they are dangerous in large numbers. I have a pendant though. Has the power of this god decayed like the statue? Or is it as strong as ever? These slips are prayers to this god for forgetting things. Void. I pray to the god of forgetting. I pray to the void to take a memory from me. There was a moment of hesitation between my pendant and the god. Did I really want this? If I did, my pendant would allow it. This god is not to be played around with. Our memories define us. I thought of my mom, who lost so much to protect me. Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? It feels like it was recently abandoned. There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere. They look relieved to have finished their work. What we do to the land eventually makes its way into our blood and our brains. This can define a season. The work at the dig site has something to do with day 0. Could it be the source of the strange things I've seen in the valley? A pit this size must have taken a while to dig. Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the harpic they need.
The necessity of day 0 is not just psychological, it's ecological. Because there is a compounding effect to these minerals and their psychological effect. And we see this in Tiang Valley. There is a memory and a memory of a memory and a memory of a memory of a memory. This echo effect, this recursive nature is the problem. As this cycles through the ecosystem, it creates points of pressure where things bleed, and soil and human minds are contaminated. Some will say, what's a few daytime visions? But it is an increasing risk, an increasing danger. Left alone, the haunted quality of this season will only get worse. The necessity of day 0 is also to... This particular action will neutralize this phenomenon at its source. This is not an endless cycle. We are putting an end to this psychoactive material, and we are opening up space for something new.
How do they plan to remove the haunted quality of this season?
The necessity of day...
What is day 0? Maybe I can find out more about it. I wonder what's on this reel. They dug up all that harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on day 0. bit upsetting to see graves treated like this. The memories of the owner now turned into a beautiful mineral.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues, right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some harpic, of course. Each god seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the harpic, we get the psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done. I could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
It worked. I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present. But now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
This kind of experiment can wear out the mind. But this was worth it. The gray hands present one side to the public, and another is hidden behind metal fences. There is no one to oppose them. There is only my record of what they did here. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, but we're always walking on ruins. An instrument with the symbol of the god of memory. I remember my dad had a poor singing voice but wrote funny songs. He had one for taking out the garbage, a kind of a ballad. A calm sound comes from the strings. The faces look trapped in there. I hold tight to the feeling of being almost lost, barely lost, wandering with conviction. If I could tell Dad that I left home, I would describe this feeling to him in detail.
I knew my brain was doing something special. I thought I'd wake up with an idea for a new shape or color. Everybody would love my new shape or color. But instead, my brain gave me a dream which made people afraid, which is making you leave. We don't think we have power, so we don't do anything. But you found something to do. I think that's nice. The elder said it means the season is ending soon. I want to tell you the dream now. Let's shut our eyes and lay on the roof. We are already on the roof. That's good. I'll speak the dream out loud and you imagine it. You can close your eyes now. I'll tell you when to open them. I am in the forest. The sun is bright. My stomach rumbles. I'm hungry. I look for something to eat. There are fruit trees lining the path. I look for one to pick, to eat. I climb up one of the trees and reach out to grab a shining red apple. I blink, and suddenly the apple is rotten. It looks like it's full of spiders. I blink again, and now the apple is just a baby apple. Not ripe or rotten. I lose my balance and fall onto the ground. The apple changes colors. Some are eaten. Some disappear. I hear a voice. Someone is there with me. I try to recognize who they are, but their face keeps changing. They're kind of everywhere. I tell them I'm hungry. I want what the earth is trying to give me. They say, these aren't apples. They're memories of every apple I've ever seen. There's something wrong with my eyes, and there's something wrong with the soil. They say I need to look into the sun to clear out my vision. They say we're going to look together, and that when we do, they'll melt away. They want to. Then behind them I see you, watching from the shadows. You've been taking notes on everything. This makes me feel better. I turn my head and I let the light in. I lose track of everything. When I get my senses back, I find myself holding a round, red fruit in my hand. I don't know what it is, but I take a bite, and it's the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. Then I woke up. You can open your eyes now. You probably have questions. It wasn't only my fault that the apples were acting funny. It seemed like the natural world, or whatever it's called, the land didn't know what time it was either. The soil had to forget a little. The face of the ghost person in the dream? They were everyone and no one. It reminded me of someone I used to look for. My birth was not easy. I was bigger than most babies. After I was born, the elder advised them not to have any more children. But years later, my parents tried. They told me I'd have a sibling. But we lost them a few weeks later. I felt like it was my fault. I should have been born last, if ever. I needed to see this missing person somewhere. So I searched faces for a face I'd never seen. I thought I had to carry them forever. But in the dream, they wanted to become part of everything. I had to let them go, which felt like a piece of me was dying. It hurts a lot, but it's a nice thing to do if you can. To let part of you become part of everything. Oh, I feel a bit winded now. I feel like everything is happening the way it should, but I still wish none of it would happen at all. I wish my dream didn't mean anything. I wish we had wasted more time together. I'd like that very much. We'll go down this roof together, and you'll keep going down and down, down into the heart of the world. Thank you for listening to my dream.
This tower has a large bell attached to it. Music from a trio of performers. The metal, the breeze, and my mind. This flower was broadcasting music. Unlit candles being drowned in a flood, a loss of potential light, potential prayers. There isn't enough room for a cemetery in my village. Here, memory is granted space. Land is used to let the living meet the dead. Or maybe it's the other way around. The text is barely legible. 3 aphorisms from the young. 1. Time moves us when we move not. There is no time. It looks like a set of aphorisms. Now to find the rest. Takes effort to remember. Forgetting is easy. It's like gravity. I can still walk through the streets of my village, down the corridors of memory. Is this a sculpture or raw materials? I hope this isn't the face of a god. He looks like he'd steal your lunch. Too bad this is sold out and happened 100 years ago. This instrument is so beat up, but lovingly preserved. It must have played some important tunes. This instrument is so beat up, but lovingly preserved. It must have played some important tunes. What a cheap-looking contraption. I'm not sure what to think about this. This is the symbol of the god of sleep. Sleep is a kind of shadow of life, refraction absent of light. A home isolated from the rest of the valley. I've had my first experience of loneliness on this trip. I can't imagine a lifetime's worth. I'm not sure what to think about this.
Oh, that sound. The camera click. The valley used to be so full of the sounds you couldn't hear yourself think. Now to hear it again. That sweet, awful click. You came to see the work of the reclusive artist. Come here. Let me see. Bring it close. Oh, my eyes. I can only see here. Awful. Form, color, subject. Simply awful. That was me trying to play to the crowd, to be charming. A crazy woman made this junk. An artist. I buried her a long time ago. I'm surrounded by it. I spent my life trying to make something beautiful and true. I failed. Can you bring me photos of my art? I'd like to see my work one more time. I want to see how I wasted my life.
I think that is Matura.
Come, show me. What do you think of it? Wrong. What a soulless object. Look at that face. Broken eyes. Nothing graceful about it. I should have grown ivy over them. At least the flood will take it all away. Was I never truly inspired? Did I really fail so completely? Let's see another.
The text is barely legible. 3 aphorisms from the young. None should see the face of love and live. Just one more to complete the set. They look like they passed out.
Completely off. I thought if I stood outside his door long enough in the rain, that God would let me inside. All I did was toil my fingers to pieces. I wanted to capture this valley in a piece of art. That's all. Best of luck to you. I tried my whole life and all I did was create piles of trash. Enough about my... Let me see what else you've got in that journal. My trash all on a page together, like a real art exhibit. One day, you could add my name to it. Mitziora. They might as well know who to blame. The museum vault. Every artist dreams of their work hanging on its walls. Oh my God. You'll try to go there? It's so far. It'll drain your life away trying to reach it. That is undeniably true. Your journal might end up in the vault, which means my artwork might end up there. Oh, that would redeem everything. Every wasted hour. When a dream crawls back out of your throat, it hurts. But I can do better than those little statues. I can, if you help me. This art will memorialize Cheng Valley, and we'll finish it together. Cheng Valley has many faces, many themes, characters, eras, stages of its existence. Take a look through this junk, and we'll pick one of those faces. A face to show Cheng Valley to the unborn children of the next season. You do that while I make some tea.
Stone and soil, water and wood, a collection of samples of the ecosystem of the valley. Is the ecology of the valley the root cause of everything that happened here? Within the piles of junk, I found a metal cutout of a symbol. These patterns, what powers have they had and lost?
The sleep symbol. This is the pattern, the vibration the prayer makes. When the prayer is said, you can feel it in the air, but you can see it in the water. If you ever see this pattern in motion, prepare to sleep. Oh, you prayed. You are adopting the culture here so quickly. That is a small prayer you experienced. The monks used to adjust our lives with this power, to help us through life. I can tell you the essence of our religion. Our consciousness is a miracle, but we are frail vessels. Sonia, the monk, used this prayer to end the war. A prayer to end a season. God of sleep listened. Power was greater and deeper than anyone knew. That was how the last season ended. Do you want this to be our theme?
This instrument is so beat up, but lovingly preserved. It must have played some important tunes.
Oh, you've brought me Manchez's violin. He was a wonderful singer. We were so proud he came from Cheng Valley. He collected stories, games, and songs and spread them across the world. You remind me of him. He died of a heart attack on a stage in a foreign land. It was a brief and powerful feeling to share the love of this singer with the rest of the world. Without him around, we have less in common. Even I loved him too. We all did. Do you want this to be our theme? Very good. And the tea is ready. In the past, I tried to control everything. My work was dead. This time, let's follow our intuition, gather some pieces, and see what happens. What magic might be hiding in this day, which will pass and never return? This tea is good for the throat. It makes me want to sing. Chubaleni husanota. Chubaleni husade. Chubaleni husanota. Krimosanahi. Pleminutu sakanora. That was it. That was Cheng Valley. I thought we would capture Cheng Valley in a piece of art, but we captured it in a moment instead. A moment can never hang on the wall of a museum, but you will still carry it with you. You were the co-author of this moment. I would never have found it without you. I'll rest these weary knees, these old eyes. But you're welcome to bring me images of this valley, as long as you bring them close enough for me to see. I'll tell you what I know. There's only a little bit of today left, and then the city, the flood, the lights, the next season. Oh, you'd never believe it. That locket was a gift from Manchas. Yes, a famous singer. We were both artists. We admired each other's work. We admired each other. The golden season wouldn't have been so golden without him. I wish I could show you around, but maybe you can bring the valley to me. You could show me photographs you've taken here, and I'll rummage around in my mind for any gems. Dig it up or leave it in the ground. Either way, our pick will make itself known, make its presence felt. Is it the source of all strange happenings, all mind wanderings, of our religion itself? Maybe it would decay on its own in a million seasons, but some are not so patient. Some would rather this magic just be gone. Leave us in peace. Oh dear. Did you speak with him? You did well to avoid his gaze. I'm looking forward to the void being buried under water. They haven't aged a day since the prayer put them to sleep, but every time I see the soldiers, they look younger and younger to me. Almost like children now. Do I sound like I forgive them? It is the two worst thoughts to try to hold together in your mind. They were just boys, and they killed my family. The god of memory, the cruelest of all. Oh, you'll understand one day. The mercy of sleep, the mercy of forgetting. But memory has no mercy. The most powerful god of all, the god of sleep. Sleep. When we remember and forget together. When we toss out what needs to be in the garbage. When we gild memories worth keeping. I've learned more from my dreams than from any book. You may pray or not, but you will sleep. You will, or you will die. How could this, the true religion, make itself more clear to you? Silent writers, have you ever written words on your own home? Poetry on a dead surface? To throw up your name, to go all city, to bomb the system? These old values are particularly unknown now. I am sure the monk is still in there. He will not leave the valley. He will not do anything. He will not even pray. Our last monk did too much. This one. Critters of the valley. Don't worry about the animals. They'll leave before the... Won't they? Yes. Silent writers. Have you ever written poetry? Throw up. These old values are particularly unknown now. My last commissioned work. A misguided memorial. I made these dogs of war and spread them out around the valley, like the soldiers used to be. But the war didn't need a statue. They have the soldiers themselves, frozen in time. The tourists used to buy my artwork, but I erred when I started making it with them in mind. They were annoying, but their complete absence wasn't great, either. I prefer not to be inundated with them, nor to be totally cut off from the occasional visitor. You are the happy medium. Jing Valley purple. Seductive, harmful, psychic, tumble. When you think of the past, where is it? Is the past behind you? Is it above? Is it under your feet? I wear it like an old coat. I can feel the warmth coming off this picture. The place might as well be on another planet. This is your home? You lucky dove. Just wait until I get my own pair of wheels, my own army, my electric legs. I'll be over for tea. I'll meet your darling mother. You won't be able to get rid of me. Yes, the water coming, the flood, the dam. I'm tired of it. What is natural? What is man-made? The dam created this valley. Of course we caused the flood, over and over. We never learn. For a while, that sign was torn down and put back up every other day. The poor people can only be discovered so many times before you want to scream. Be wary of anyone who claims to just be building a road. Roads are less innocent than they seem. This is Jing Valley at its best. Someone must have been walking through the cemetery one day and spotted some ancient graves, no flowers, unkept, and thought, what about these people? Not remembered, not forgotten either. So the ceremony of the random dead was born. The monks extract some memories from someone, tried to sketch their life in an evening. What would otherwise be lost? Millions of people live and die just beyond our peripheral vision. A random arm is slung along your shoulder. You make a friend, they'll never know you. Where was I? Not accustomed to talking this much. I like it. Ha! All right.
Latiora is a true artist.
You should say hi to the widow and her son. They have a farm over yonder. Last I heard, she was still trying to decide what to pack.
I knew once I went into the shrine, my time to explore the valley was over. In the heart of the shrine, the void sits alone. It has wheels, but it looks like a house.
Who are you? What are you doing here? I hope this isn't your first day on the job. There isn't much season left to record. What's that? Around your neck? That's a pendant. You're wearing a pendant. My God, I've read about those. A pendant, a burner, 5 memories, 1 for each sense. Who did you make the pendant with? And who lost the memories, you or her? I see. And what was something you burned? You burned your poor old friend. I have one of those around here somewhere. Interesting ritual. Similar to what we do here, but different. Yeah, why do I? Your mind will make it into the next season intact. You're protected by 5 senses, 5 lost memories. What about everyone else? You ever think about that? Why would you? Well, I don't need one. I'll be right here until the flood takes me. The first days of a new season are just so damn hopeful. Feeling that kind of hope again would kill me. I'd rather drown. Of course, of course. Few things are as painful. I told you I read about them. Look at you, protected. The rest of the world is not so lucky. Me, the people you've met on your way here, nobody else is protected. You think everyone makes it into a new season intact? Tell that to the boys face down in the parking lot. You know things are about to change. I can tell. A collective pendant to protect a group instead of one person. You're welcome to try. My memories are all over the shrine. You can have them, destroy them, whatever you want. Asking an old monk to invent a new ritual. Let me die in peace. Music in the air, I hear it. You want a memory, then, for your, what do you call it? Collective pendant? Ah, Something about hearing this at breakfast. Cooking breakfast, listening to this. Is that enough of a memory? I guess I won't forget it now. I'll forget it when the flood comes. That old doll. What is that? Touch? Looks like it survived anyway. A tourist left that behind. A little kid. I don't know why I kept it. I knew they'd never come back. But the life the kid imagined into this piece of fabric, I can still feel it. Who was that child? Why is this doll here? Sometimes I try to imagine them and I see myself. Memory flows. It can even run uphill. That fruit is an acquired taste, but go ahead, try it. Do you like the taste? It takes time. I remember long ago when I was a beautiful human being sneaking into the orchards with another boy before we knew what was romantic and what wasn't, stealing those fruits, pretending to love the taste, pretending to love the taste and pretending not to love each other. Both of us pretending, smiling and laughing until it became true. Oh, it's so good. He was a tourist, that boy. Left me heartbroken like so many others. Do I love the taste of the fruit now? I don't know. Do I love being alive? What choice do I have? I remember seeing lights like these in the forest one night. It was Manches, the famous singer. The only time I ever got to see him sing, and my eyes were on the crowd. Seeing their faces in electric light, the joy of it. I grew up in a time when we thought our lives could be connected by electricity. How could we hate each other when we all loved the same person? The brief, beautiful delusion that the world was knitting itself together. He dies, the war starts. A season ends. Did I tell you already? Hope is the most painful thing in the world.
An old monk surrounded by his memories. Is this a shrine to a god? Or is it a shrine to his past?
That smell. The bark of the esto tree. I married couples underneath that tree. One day, the tree was struck by lightning. An old couple came to see me, very worried. They'd been married under the tree long before I was a monk. It seemed like a bad omen for their marriage. But they were so old, they'd been married for so long, it made me laugh and cry. We turned the remains of the tree into this incense. I told the couple to burn the incense, that it would help. Oh, they were relieved. An old ritual turned into a new one. Maybe that's what you're trying to do here. That's 5. 5 memories. 5 senses. My name is Easel. I was the last monk of Tiang Valley. I never finished my exams to be a monk, but I'm the only one left. I took becoming a monk for granted because I grew up around them. If you're including a ruin like me, you must be serious about recording this season. What will you write about me? That's true, but I was once a scared little boy. I was orphaned by the war. The monks found me on the coast, wandering alone. Sonia, the head monk, took care of me. I saw things I shouldn't have. She helped me erase those memories. If I had any memories of my family, I lost them too. But at least I didn't wake up screaming anymore. I was so afraid of accidentally calling her Mom. She was the head monk, even before she ended the war. Sonia was an imposing figure. I slept, I forgot, and I grew. The soldiers came to the valley. Sonia hated the war for taking my family like it took so many others. The most powerful prayers are always made out of desperation. She figured out how to amplify our sleep prayer, a prayer that could end a season. No one had ever done anything like that. She sent me to the coast to turn on the light posts, to signal that the season would end soon. I used to go to the light posts alone, just to dream about another season, to dream about being born in another season, to die in another season, to imagine a life where I wasn't afraid to have hope. I'd like you to have one of these photos, to carry it with you to wherever you're going. These lights out on the coast, it's a solemn task to turn them on, and it's not too late. They've shut off the power. Won't be long now. Imagine the waves rolling in here. The water so deep that light won't reach us. I should pray one last time. We should both pray right now. Your pendant, the sacrifice your mother made to keep you safe. It might be possible to pass on this blessing, to divide its power among the people you've met on your journey, to shepherd them into the next season. For a truly strong player, we would need to use up the power of your pendant. I'm not sure it would work. It's never been done before. But I know it would weaken your pendant. In that case, nobody would be protected. Before you light the candle, I want you to think hard about if you want to do this. Do you want to pass on this blessing and leave yourself vulnerable? Or will you continue your role as a vessel of memory?
I need to be sure someone will remember this season. There needs to be at least one witness. Someone to carry this season into the future. That is what I set out to do. I promised her I wouldn't do anything to my pendant. That was why she let me go. She told me I had to remember everything. That it was my role. They were kind to me. They're already losing so much. Slowly, painfully, but still, they are moving on.
I feel the choice, don't speak it aloud, no need. It puts my mind at ease knowing you will be safe. You'll witness much more across seasons. We will leave it to the gods. We sink these words into the fragile earth to accompany lost souls. Listen to the record of our lives spinning and the old woman tapping her foot to the music. Taste the fruit we stole from the orchard and pretend to love the taste until you truly do. Feel the fabric of a lost doll. Smell the incense of an old evening sun, the caretaker prayer, the scent of the woods and the wedding tree. Turn your eyes to the colored lights. The faces in the crowd are the faces of your children. We offer this prayer on behalf of our companions. Let them find themselves with senses warm and ready for the life of the season to come. I put this moment here. We've done all we can. I need to take you out of this place. It can't end here. Let's go.
I never saw him that way. I was there. I saw it. Firsthand.
The true end of the Tiang Valley was not the flood coming. It was when these people would go their separate ways. At the last possible moment, I saw them as a community. No matter what happens, I will carry the memory of these people into the next season. The Greyhound arrived. He had what he called passports for everyone. He said they were supposed to have a photo, but that his camera was broken and he wanted to use mine. I saw in these little papers the beginning of a new world. He asked me if I could help him. I had only one moment to decide. I said, yes. The gray hand thanked me. He gave me a pin and told me their new name would be Floral Path. The monk said he felt like driving all night.
Listen closely. The road behind you leads to the coast. There's an old warning system on the beach, an emergency light that can be seen from the other side of the ocean. You can warn the rest of the world about the change of season. All you have to do is turn it on. It was built to survive anything. I'm sure it still works. Do you understand? Of course.
Easel lives.
I've been thinking about that all night. I have this idea to turn my van into a shrine. For every sermon I preach, I'll listen to 10, and you will remember everything. You will survive everything. Rest transparent in the spirit that gives you rise. Farewell.
The elder told me she grew up on a watery republic. The ship was commandeered during the war. This is a life ring. I like the sound of that. The sound is so forlorn, trying to speak to the ocean. Her motto is very much in line with what I've learned about the golden season. On the beach, I move through the wreckage of an old season, and a way to warn the world about the arrival of the next. The cycle will continue. I hope I played my role well. Tate's gonna be jealous when I tell him I saw an actual boat.
Hello. I love you. Ice cream. Good. Ha! What this do? For people. You turn them on? Aha! I think wrong. It's not for sport. My village. I draw the life. You see? You? Safe village. So, tree. Beautiful tree. I have tree. It's weird, no? I have weird. Public lizard. For everyone. No. Haha. I say I live home. My mother no cry goodbye. Your mother? Strong mom. Morning I leave. I go far, far? Alone. Long time. Why you leave home? Why not? Ubamnegeo se giallo. Why not? Same. Look at crab now. I see. I like it. I draw. What you like? Ah. Sound. To play sound. You play sound.
I heard a lot of music on my trip, but never saw anybody playing it. Just instruments, recordings, echoes.
Good. Here? 3 days together. Friend now. Sad that I go. Now, here, together, we are same.
The lights sent out a warning to the other side of the world. I wondered if anyone was watching. I wondered if anyone remembers what it means. This season is over. My new friend is sailing home in the morning. I've decided to go with him. I feel so scared and so relieved at the same time. I can't think straight. Before sailing into the unknown, I checked in on my journal, my letter to the future.
The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now. I want you to have it forever. We're standing here. You're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories.
In the light, in the pattern of the surface of the water, I felt the god of forgetting wrap their arms around me. A wave of amnesia. But when they opened their mouth, I heard my mother's voice instead. I step into the next season with my mind intact. But what about everyone else? The masses of the world without a pendant, without their mother's voice in their ear. I read through my journal, knowing it might be the only record left of their lives, of this departed season. I have to remember for everyone. It was a season to collect and to let go, to sort through dreams, visions, and memories, all of which may have just been washed away. I don't know what might have been gained by this. I can only show you what was lost. This is part of the history of our world, and I hope knowing it helps you answer the questions I have asked myself in these pages. What is your season? Where did it come from? And where's it going? I'll continue taking measure of the world, even if I never make it to a palace of art and memory. No matter where you're reading this, I offer you my journal and the lives inside it. If anything in here escapes from the page into the world, let it be one sentence. Just a few words you heard from a traveler on a bicycle, when at the end of the evening, she turned to you and said, It is not too late.
How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now, stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.